guns. Give me a break. And this guy ended up to be a machine gunner. I mean, this was...
Yeah, he was a
the
saw
reason
gunner.
The military is really totally embarrassed and should be embarrassed. And
Dr. Pachinik, we're out of time. Thank you for the short notice. StevePachinik.com. Thank you, Leanne McAdoo, Joe Biggs. We'll have more. Stay with us. We're
on the march.
Rappaport's
The
coming up.
Empire's on the
I'm Alex
run.
Jones. Stay with us.
Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
A chemical spill contaminating the water supply in 9 West Virginia counties.
This year alone, over 300,000 people in West Virginia had their drinking water contaminated.
What are the health effects of having these drugs in our drinking water?
It's forced medical treatment without the consent of residents.
My friends, water filtration is one of the most basic actions you can take to protect you and your family from the harmful toxins and heavy metals in your tap water.
On average, the county says it sprays with the glyphosate at least once a week.
Few filters cut out the glyphosate that is found in water supplies worldwide. Remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, hydrofluorosilicic acid, sodium hexafluorosilicate.
Fluoride, it is in tea, it's in coffee, it's in water, it's in bread, it's in toothpaste.
It is our responsibility to protect our families. The establishment's not going to do it. It's time to take action. It's time to filter our water. Visit InfoWarsStore.com and use promo code WATER to get 10% off their entire family of incredible products. Or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Hi, folks. Alex Jones here with some important information. I want to tell you about Matt Redhawk and his team of patriots over at My Patriot Supply. Several years ago, Matt was sitting in his 2-bedroom apartment, frustrated with the direction this country was headed and the charlatans willing to sell us out for a quick buck. Deciding to take action, a company run by patriots for patriots was born. My Patriot Supply has never taken a loan or accepted outside funding. They now operate 2 distribution facilities and employ over 50 hardworking American men and women. It is rare to find companies who practice what they preach. And that's why I stock my pantry with high-quality storable foods from My Patriot Supply. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today for special offers on emergency food storage or call their preparedness specialist at 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Do business with someone who shares your values. mypatriotsupply.com/Alex. In the near future.
When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operations.
Let the worst people get control and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
A popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun and you can feel it.
Resistance to tyrants is obedience to God. It's Alex Jones.
All right. You know, sometimes we don't have him on for 4 or 5 months, and then we'll have him on 3 times in 1 week. But I want to make him a bigger part of the nightly news and also the whole operation. And he's John Rappaport, best-selling author, researcher, political analyst, investigative journalist, and so many other hats. He's coming up in just one moment to cover the waterfront of issues. And I know that we have Sean in Wyoming worked on issues concerning the question I had dealing with Bergdahl. And we've got Brandon in Texas, who's active Army, who's been holding as well. So we'll finish up with Bergdahl first with Rappaport and get his take on that, because he's always up on the news as a news hound. Let those callers that have been holding for 30 minutes get off the line, Brandon and then Sean, and then move forward into all these other issues with the host of NoMoreFakeNews.com, John Rappaport. Before we go any further, we are going to sell out of the Super Female Vitality. All it is 10 well-known herbs that are organic and concentrated in a live, cold-pressed tincture form. And that's why everyone I talk to, I mean, almost everyone. I know one person, it's now like 10 women I know that have taken it. One person said it made them tired at first, and that's because they think they had a hormone imbalance or something. So it can affect people differently. Have said it makes them bounce off the walls with energy, libido, you name it. They had already at the laboratory run less than 1,000 extra for our next order. So we can get those, so we're not back ordered. Those are coming in a few days. But when those are gone, it could be 3 weeks, it could be a month and a half. Because we're waiting on 2 of the herbs that are raw to be cold pressed, and you got to get them certified organic and all the rest of it. We're very neurotic about that because we want to bring you the very best quality. I mean, it costs us $15 to $20 a bottle. Other people have similar stuff. It's like $2 a bottle, and they sell it for $100 instead of $50 like we do. And this is how we fund our operation, bringing you the super male vitality, which we have plenty of, the super female vitality, and the X2 iodine. Now, again, we came out a year ago with the first survival shield. We still have that in stock and have discounted it, and it's great. It turns blue on paper. All the other iodines turn black. And that's because we believe they're bound with the alcohol or something, but you still need it. You still need iodine. The problem is it's not palatable for kids and things like that. He came out with the X2 that is from deep iodine crystals that are purple. And that's why it's important on paper, folks. It turns purple. The other iodines don't turn purple, you'll notice. That's because this is real pure iodine, and that's why Dr. Group believes it goes into the blood and just has this big effect because it just goes right into you. Now, consult your physician before you take it, and or your healthcare provider, and I would go slow. That's my advice. You know, this is all, I mean, even the government admits you need iodine. They used to put it in the salt, and they don't now. And instead, they put stuff in the food chain that's the opposite of it, the bromines, the bromides that block iodine. But for me, this has just been life-changing. And we love to promote and sell things that are excellent, that help fund the operation and the hardcore free speech we have. So, bare minimum, try it out for yourself if you're talking to your healthcare provider and reading all the disclaimers and things. I mean, hell, they can make you have disclaimers for vitamin C now, folks. So just whatever, look into it for yourself. And bare minimum, you've helped the broadcast. Bare minimum, you have funded hardcore free speech. And I want to thank all of you that have gotten the products. You've heard the rave reviews. I believe, like we've seen in almost all the other cases, you will love it and be blown away by it and become a regular user of it. So we have the X2 Survival Shield now available at InfoWarsLife.com. That's one word, InfoWarsLife.com. Or call toll-free 888-253-3139. We also have on InfoWarsStore.com all the Pro Gun T-shirts, all the Liberty-based T-shirts, the Don't Tread on Me, the ball caps, the hunting hats, the camo hats, the Made in America bronze, George Washington 1776 belt buckles. All of it limited edition at madein1776.com. That'll just take you to the subpage that has the Made in America stuff at InfoWarsStore.com, or call toll-free 888-253-3139. And we couldn't do any of this without your support. We don't have George Soros, like the globalists have, to fund $5 billion to overthrow Ukraine. We don't have billions of stimulus money like NPR and MSNBC get and taxpayer money. We are literally sink or swim, free market, free will, free association. You decide to support us. And that's the only way I'd have it. And they haven't wrecked the country and the world to an extent yet to where we can't get the funding. So thank you. If the funding continues to come in, sometimes it's lean, sometimes it's fat. We take the fat, we put it into the operation to get more reporters, more people trained to do more. And that's what we're doing now. From Bilderberg to the FEMA camps in Virginia, to the radiation on the West Coast, to just reporters everywhere. Our great reporters like Jakari Jackson, Leanne McAdoo, Darren McBreen, Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs, just all the great reporters, like John Bound. There are so many others, Paul Watson, Steve Watson, Kurt Nimmo, just all of them. And the video editors and the whole team. It's now over 50 people total, and you have customer service, shipping, reporters, writers, crew running the shows. Everyone is just as important as everybody else. Because let's face it, I'm the first person to not be a narcissist on a power trip. I get very excited about the people we've reached and what we've been able to do with passion and the truth. But different strokes for different folks. I come off as obnoxious. I come off as aggressive. I come off as bombastic, as interrupting on many fronts. Some people don't like me, but they'll like our other reporters. They'll like Leanne McAdoo. They'll like a Rob Dew and their perspective on the world. And our yardstick is, do you love liberty? Do you want the truth? Do you care about history? Do you care about freedom? That's the kind of reporters we want. Some of them have journalism degrees from the University of Texas, like Leanne. Others have worked for, McClatchy and Scripps Howard, like McBreen. Others have worked for, production for semiconductor companies, like Rob Dew. Others have no formal training, like yours truly. We all just bring truth and justice to the table. And we're very excited to have the whole team here. I want to take some time out to thank all of you for supporting the operation so we could build this one-of-a-kind operation. I want to thank God, number one, for the providence of taking a sinner and a weak creature like myself, and the fact that I just turned my will over to liberty and was given something even greater than free will. I still have free will, but it's free will with a drive towards justice. And so I am so humble. And I'm living the American dream of liberty. There's great evil happening, but that's what animates us. That's the opposing force that tests our mettle. And so I am humble before my Creator and humble before other great lovers of liberty like John Rappaport and so many others that we have on this broadcast. John, I want to go to a few calls from Brandon and Sean and then give you the floor. In fact, I may even let you just take over the last 30 minutes to really get into whatever you want and may just step away. Not even because of time. Wild horses couldn't drag me away, but I'm getting you primed to maybe even send you some better equipment and have you host the show sometimes, just like the great David Knight does, who's out of the country with Josh Owens coming back from Bilderberg today in Copenhagen. But give us your brief take on, not too brief, on the Bo Bergdahl story, why it doesn't smell good to me. I want to see if it doesn't smell good to you. And then we're going to go to Brandon and Sean and then move on to other issues.
Thanks, Alex. Absolutely. Well, I would say three things quickly. One is an operation like this to bring back this guy is aimed at demoralizing U.S. soldiers. The entire, rank and file. That's number one. That's
exactly. How do you give focus to a traitor and someone who went and joined other people and then hold that up? It's meant to make us all feel bad. See, I hadn't gone with that angle. You hit it. Go ahead. Expand on that.
Right. I mean, that's the idea. The guy is AWOL. He deserts whatever. And all of a sudden, this tremendous deal is made to return these Taliban chiefs in return, for this guy. And so what do the soldiers start thinking? Well, what are we doing over here in Afghanistan? We're dying, we're getting wounded, we're serving multiple tours to capture and kill these Taliban people. And all of a sudden, a few of the major ones are free. And this guy who walked away, U.S. soldier, he's returned to the United States. So that immediately puts a total cold blanket on the whole rank and file of the U.S. Army. And then number two, of course, it distracts everybody from the enormous VA scandal, the enormous and growing VA scandal that we haven't even begun to scratch the surface on, believe me. I mean, as huge as the implications are so far, that's nothing to compare to what's going to be dug up on this by people that are really looking. So this glosses all of that over. Oh, the commander-in-chief did a great thing and this and that. And it's promoted by all the talking points from the White House on the Sunday talk shows, etc. And then the final and third thing that I would say, and yes, this is speculation, but who knows? Maybe this guy, this U.S. soldier that was just returned, suppose, for example, he was actually getting ready to talk in public. Not because somebody had brainwashed him. Who knows? I don't know who this guy actually is. But just suppose that he wants to go public and talk about what's happened in the war over there. And the U.S. intelligence community got wind of it. Wouldn't that be incredible? And they say to the Akani network, you grab him, you give him back, we'll give you who you want. Now they have him locked down at a hospital. Exactly. And never to be seen again. Boom. End of story. Could very well be. I think we've hit all the angles. on that. Let's take a call from Brandon and then Sean. Brandon is active Army. Thank you for holding. Brandon, what's your take on this whole thing?
Yeah, I think we need to go back to the difference in stories between whether or not this guy walked off the fob or whether or not he fell behind on a patrol. If he walked off that fob, the soldiers around him would have, say he just dropped all his gear and his weapon. his platoon sergeant would have had to check that back in, his TA-50 and his weapon. Now, I think that